are you? Cheryl here with cardsbycheryl.com. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. I appreciate that. If you are new, welcome. You have reached me in my new tips and tricks weekly series that I do. I'm doing this one early because I'm traveling. You may have, if you're a return viewer, you may notice a slightly different backdrop for me. I'm currently in Arizona, where it's sunny and warm. And what's interesting is I have such beautiful sunshine coming through my windows, but it was so bright that it was like completely washing me out. And it was like I was standing in the dark. It was very weird. I don't have the best lighting situation here, and I don't actually have the same setup that I have in my craft room in Washington. So I might sound a little different. I forgot to bring my professional mic with me. And I forgot a bunch of things. So I forgot my webcam. So that's a new webcam. I forgot my mouse, so I got a brand new mouse. So there's all kinds of things that are new right now in this setup. So I hope that the audio is okay. I know it's not going to be as good as it usually is because I have a separate mic that I usually use. Right now I'm using my iPhone for audio. So anyway, you have found me on my weekly series. This is episode number 12. We are going to be showcasing a product today, and I hope to be giving you lots of tips and tricks. This product kind of intimidated me when I first got it, and in fact, I didn't buy it for some time. But so we're talking about the Very Best Trio Punch, and this is available in the current catalog. It's available as a bundle, and the other thing I didn't bring with me are my catalogs, so I don't even have a catalog to flip through with you. But anyway, so this is available as a bundle in the current catalog. The stamp set it bundles with is like a sentiment stamp set. It's really cool. And if I had my act together, I would have had a page ready to pop on screen for you so you could see the bundle, but I don't, in fact, have my act together today, so we're winging it right now. But so this Trio Punch does amazing things, but looking at it, you're like, well, I don't need help. I don't need a punch to make an angle cut. And I already have a punch or die that will make these little slots, and this is just a decorative corner. But let me show you quickly how many great things this punch does. And I'm going to walk through some of them for you because some of them aren't completely intuitive, but you can do sentiment strips with angle cuts that also have the borders, exact borders to match. You can make a 2, 4, 6. You can make a hexagon. No, that's an octagon. There's 8. And you can make some really adorable tags. You've got right here a linen, or not a linen, but a ribbon threader, which is, here's one style, here's another style. And then you can even do a rounded corner, and I know there is a rounded corner punch also, but I think it retired. If I had my catalogs with me, I would be able to tell you that. But at any rate, there is a method to your madness when it comes to this punch, and that's why I wanted to just kind of walk through some scenarios with you to show you how I found it easiest to use. So I'm just going to move this up here. I got my nails done for Halloween. I'm going as a witch. Not a wicked witch. I'm going as a nice witch. A nice witch with dark fingernails that I never do. But anyway, so let's start with just something very simple, which is this sentiment strip right here. So first things first, as a rule of thumb, you're going to not want to put anything in the diagonal cut that is more than 3/4 of an inch tall. Because when you do that, let me see, I'll see if I can find I have gone through so much scrap paper and trial and error with this punch. It's been kind of fun, but it's one of those times where you're very happy to have a lot of scratch paper. So this is a strip that is 1 inch long. And the first thing I want to mention is that when you are using this punch, I found it most helpful to have the punch that you are selecting to use in your bottom right-hand corner. So if you're using the diagonal punch, it's in this position. If you're going to use except for this one you need to go straight on, this slot punch. And then this one this is the trickiest one. We'll save that for last. This one you always want to have in your bottom right-hand corner so that you know which orientation you're going into with it. So that being said, we're going to start here, and I'm going to slip this in here. This is just 1 inch, and it's got a guide here. I don't know if you can see. It's got a guide right there, and it's got another guide right here. So you can come at it from 2 different directions. So the first way I'm going to slide it in is, so if you look at the rectangle here, when you have it facing you, it's going to make the cut this way on the paper. So it's going to cut like this. If I were to put this in this way, it's going to cut it like that. So opposite side. So let's just, but I want to show you the 1 inch here. And you want to, don't press on the corner. This is one of those punches you want to go straight down on. If you press on just the corner, you won't get a clean punch. So place the palm, this part of your hand in the center, and just press straight down like that. And do you see how the reason you want to go 3/4 of an inch as opposed to 1, because you don't get a full cut. So I'm going to show you, here is 3/4 of an inch, and go straight down, and you've got a beautiful slant cut. So let's say now you want to have a, well, I started with a 3/4 strip. So let's say you want, what I'm trying to tell you is we're going to demo how to do a border around your strip so that it lines up perfectly. And so the way you do that is you're going to take your white top layer and you're going to cut that to a 1/2 inch. You can cut it to 5/8. You can cut it to 5/8 if you just like that little tiny border. That's what this one is right here. So this is, you can see I did a 5/8 inch strip by 3 for the white, and then for the black I did 3/4 by 3. So if you like the really narrow border, you're going to want to uptick your background color by either 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, depending on how wide you want your border to be. Okay, so this strip we have cut to the wrong size. Let's see, did I do a 1/2 inch? No. We want to do a 1/2 inch strip by 3. I always use 3 is like the magic number for me for sentiment strips for some reason. I don't know why. So there's a 1/2 inch strip, and then for our border, our matte layer, we're going to go back up to the 3/4. And we're going to cut that down to 3 also. What that is going to do is that's going to give us this look here. If you want, well, I'll show you how to do the other look in a second. So this is 3 by 3/4, 3 by 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this in there, go straight down, and I didn't actually have it in super straight because you can see there's a little edge there. Be gentle, and then just go until you just hit that wall. If you try to force it any further, you could shimmy it. So there we have our perfectly sized matte piece with the flat edge, like so. Okay, so that would look cute, like if you were tucking this end. You wouldn't care about this being a flat edge. You were just tucking it under a sentiment or a piece of floral piece or whatever. So kind of like, say you were, well, I don't have anything handy right now, but you guys know what I mean. Okay, so that's how you do that. Then the way you do a full border like this one is you have to cut the skinny strip 1/4 of an inch smaller also. And I thought I had a white piece here. So there's our 3/4. Let me cut a 1/2 inch. And so if we're going to use this 3 inch strip like this, we cut the red to 3, and then we want a 1/4 inch border. So instead of 3 inches, we're going to cut the white to 2 3/4. So the white layer always has to be a 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch smaller than your matte layer, your red layer, as a rule of thumb. Okay, so now we just stick these in here. And you're gonna go straight down. Now, notice when I pull it out, I line it up and I can see, okay, yep, that's the way this cut. I want it to cut the same cut on the right. And if I turn this over, do you see it's gonna cut this way? And that's gonna give me not the right cut. So you always want to make sure you have your paper lined up. So if you want it to cut this way on this end, you can line it up here, just pull it over and guide it in. And that's a good way to not wreck a ton of paper like I did earlier today. So there's that piece. So I'm going to put that in there like that. Give that a cut. Let's see. And then we want to do the same thing on the other side. And that's not the right way. So we flip it over. Now it's going the right way. And just pop that in there. And now you have your border piece perfectly centered. So that's that. Let's see, the next thing I want to show you is how you can do a, we'll do this one. This is a 2.5 inch square with a 2 5/8 inch square border. Well, you can't see me, I'm pointing to this. So let's see, is that right? Yeah, so 2.5 inch square is what you start with. And then to do your border, you're going to go up to 2 5/8. So you're going to cut a piece that is just 1/8 of an inch bigger. So 2.5 and 2 5/8 is just one more tick mark over. So what we have is something that looks like that, right? So if you cut your pieces before you use your punch to be the matte size that you need, if you were just going to use it square, that's your rule of thumb, is to do that. I got ink on me. Okay, so we're going to stick with the angle cut, so we're going to pop this in there like that. Then we're just going to rotate. And I'm doing counterclockwise. This one's super easy. So now you have a nice hexagon you can stamp your sentiment on. And then if you want a border for it, you just do the same thing. This way, I'm going clockwise instead of counterclockwise. So this cut doesn't matter, okay? So now you have a cute little focal sentiment. You could put lines or use the dash to cut the slits on each end and have it be a ribbon slider, something like that. But that's just a super fast. And if I use 2.5 as my example for my square. You could go down to, I think you can go as small as 1 inch, whatever you can like hold in here. Let's try a 1 inch one. I didn't do that one. I don't know if 1 inch is too small for a sentiment, but we're going to try it right now. Oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to get that in there. It's way too small. Unless it's way too small. So 1 inch. It's probably, I wonder what it's probably 3/4 of an inch, or let's see, what would that be? Maybe 2 inch, a 2 inch square would be the smallest you could go. You'd have to play with it. This one's 1.5, but that's still, if you wanted to do the square, I think that's still too small. Yeah, I mean, you can get it in there, but I don't know what it's going to look like when it comes out. Yeah, see, it's cut off. If you put it in this way, you're just going to end up with a little tiny square again, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so you can get down to something fairly small if you wanted to with it. Okay, so we did the hexagon. Now let's talk about making some fun tags, because you can do some cute stuff. Well, actually, before we do that, this flag here was super easy to make. This is a 1.5 inch strip. And did I use my 1.5 inch strip already? That's this right here. So with the angle punch still, you're going to slide your flag in one end, flip it over. So did you see that? We want to cut this end now. So if we went like that, that would accomplish the same thing. I hope you guys can see that. Let's try it. But you can also just flip it. So sometimes it's important to note what the front and the back is if you're doing designer paper or whatever, so that you make sure you get the pattern in the right position. Okay, well, we're still on the flag. Okay, no more for the flag. Now, for this tag, which I love this little scallop, so it's going to make some fun holiday tags. And my go-to size for a tag is always, I think it's 2 inches. Yeah. So, okay, again, we're going to have the punch corner we want in our bottom right. And if you just lay this piece of paper up there in this corner, you can see it's going to cut in, and then it's going to do the rounded edge. Now, if you put your paper in up here, it's going to do the opposite on this side. So I'll show you. So if we go in like this, see how that pops in and then out? And then if you turned it and just went in this way, which intuitively makes sense, like that's how you should do it, it's the exact opposite. So can you guys see how it went in and then out on the top? So in order to, let's cut that off so we don't get confused. In order to get them symmetrical on each side, you have to flip them. So we're going to put this one in like this, punch, and then you're instinctively going to want to do that. Don't do that. What you want to do is pull it out and flip it over, and you know you're going to get that same cut, like so. Okay? Down here, if you push it in and flip it over, you get the scallops on the top versus the rounded on the bottom. Here you have the rounded on the top and the scallops on the bottom. So it's just a matter of what your preference is. So if you were doing, either one would work. I don't like, some people like them, like it that they're different, but it drives my brain a little nutty for that. So I would always want them to be symmetrical. So we're going to repunch this end. So I'm going to want this orientation to go that way when I'm cutting this end. Okay, so we're going to flip that over. Did you see me do that? So now we have 2 scallops here and 2 rounded corners. We're going to flip that over. What did they say? Measure twice, cut once. So again, we're going to just make sure that matches. It's the right way. And now we have a beautiful symmetrical tag that you could run it ribbon top to bottom or this way. My husband's texting me like crazy right now. So let me just see. Okay, everything's fine. So now if you wanted to make this a ribbon threader, you're going to rotate it to the ribbon side. I like to take a ruler and my pencil, and I'm just going to put a line in the center as a guide for where I want to. So I'm going to put a line right here. Okay? It's probably not going to be deep enough, so just barely. We're just going to extend this down a little bit more. Okay? So there's also a guide right here. This is, you can see it from top down. It's an indentation. That's your center mark. So you want to line up your center mark with the guide mark. So if you're looking straight down on it, you're lining up this line right here, which you can't see, sorry. Maybe if I go back here, can you see it then? Yeah. So you're lining up this guide, which is cut a groove into the tool with the line you just put down. Sorry, that was hard to do because it was a little bit in front of me. And this is not perfect because I think I pushed it out too far in front of me and I moved it at the last minute. Whoops. But honestly, you wouldn't be able to tell, so let's do the other side. And I'm going to mark the line again. I erased it and shouldn't have. I'm just going to put that right there. And I'm going to guide it in. See if that one's any better. Yeah, that one's better. So there you have it. And then you just erase. Like so. Now you can do a flat edge here. To do this tag, you basically cut the two pieces the exact same size, and then you just layer it on as a tag topper. And then if you could tell, I used just a straight square stitched rectangle die to just add the stitching to the end. So let me show you that really fast. Having a hot flash over here. Okay. So we're going to cut a 2-inch strip for the topper. It doesn't matter how long it is because you're going to trim it. And we're going to do, let's see, I want to do this way. So like that. I'm going to flip it and do like that. Then I'm going to grab my white piece, which I think is, yeah, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So cut it, flip, cut it so that they line up. Then you're just going to take your rectangle die or whatever edge you want to use. I don't know what I did with my rectangle dies at the moment. So I'm going to use this one as another example. You could take any kind of a stitch die with a straight edge, and I'm just going to run this through my die machine wherever I want it cut. So right about there. So I'll put that in. And my desk is probably going to shake a little bit, guys, because I have my not too bad, but yeah, a little shaky. So then I have my piece perfectly cut like that. We're just going to lay this down on top, put some glue on it. Where'd my glue go? I have a whole new desk set up here, and I'm still a little getting used to it. It's like I should have thought to do the same, you know, when you reach for things. At home, I reach for things to my right. And here, because my computer's on my right, at home my computer's on my left. So I'm all discombobulated, but it's just the way it's got to be here. So, okay, so now here we've got our tag topper, and I did cut it a little crooked, so when you cut this, you kind of want to make sure it's straight. But then you're going to go back in with your pencil and just make a mark at the center. Line that baby up. And give it a two-handed press since it's 2 layers you're going through. And there you have your punch. Now you can embellish it at the bottom. You can put, like I had this cut, like so. And then you could put a strip of gold or something down here to finish off the edge. But wow, I got that really crooked. So I'd have to fix that, I'd have to come up a little bit higher on it, and that would adjust for it. But okay, so there's tags. Now, if you wanted to do the tags with a slightly larger border like this one, the same rule applies. You cut your two pieces. You got your white layer and your matte layer. And your matte layer is going to be just like you layer any other kind of rectangular or square shape. You cut it to either 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch larger than your white layer, okay? When you do that and then you punch, you automatically end up with a nice matte layer that's perfect and symmetrical. Okay, one more to go, and that's this rounded edge one. That one is kind of fun too. So that uses this guy right here. And we're going to want to put it in so that, well, I wonder if it works this way. No, it doesn't. So you've got to make sure you put it in, if it's in the bottom right-hand corner, you want to make sure you feed it up, not sideways, because you want the rounded edge to be on the bottom. Oops, I didn't line that up very good. So you want the rounded edge to be on the bottom, not up top. Then you're going to flip it and punch again. So you have that on the top like that. Then you're just going to grab your snips and cut. And now you have a perfectly rounded edge. So if we did it, if you wanted it, if you don't have the corner rounder, this is an option for you if you're interested in rounding corners. So then you have that. And then you have all these fun little bits and pieces to sprinkle all over your floor. Okay, you guys, that's it for me today with this particular tool. I was really pleasantly surprised to see how functional this little tool is and can be, especially for holiday tags, you know, throwing a quick tag on a birthday present, making some fun, unusual shapes that don't require die cutting. So if you don't have a ton of dies, or you're like me and you can't figure out where that one special tag die was because it was in a specific set and you don't remember which set, you can just grab this, create a fun little tag, and throw it on your card or your package or whatever. So $21 for this guy. It is in the annual catalog, and as far as I know, it's in stock. It didn't show low inventory when I checked earlier today. So go grab it and have some fun with it. Okay, let me come back here. I'm red. I'm dark, but I'm still red. I'm having, it's warm here. I'm in Arizona. So anyway, thanks for sticking with me. If you're here this long, please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And even if you thought sharing this video with somebody who might find it helpful would be awesome too. All right. That's it for me. Next week, this will be my video. So I'm filming this on Friday, but it's going to probably go up Tuesday because I will be in Sin City next week. I think that's what they call Las Vegas. Yeah, I think it is. The city that never sleeps, is that it? I don't know. But anyway, that's where I'll be next week, following my husband out there for a work conference. So you won't hear much from me in the way of the crafting world until the following week. And I'll be back here in my sunshine happy place until the 10th or so. And then I'll be back in Rainville, Washington. So probably more than you guys care to know. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. I will talk to you soon. Bye.